I wanted to share an idea. Mainly, it's going to be taken from the Sefer, a book called Tanya, written by Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi. And so, one of the main points in Tanya is that every Jew has a animal soul and a godly soul, and you could think of it like, there's creator and there's creation, right? And so our animal soul is the soul of the creation from that which is physical, and mainly it needs sustenance from the creator. And so, therefore, the animal soul is really about what can I get? I need to receive. In this case, it's physical things. I need food. I need whatever it is. But the animal soul is all about I need to receive for myself so that I can stay alive. And the godly soul, comes from the Creator, and of course, the Creator doesn't need anything, and so his job is not to receive, but it's to give. It's to sustain the creation. So there's a part of us that wants to be close and like the Creator, which is to give love and life to those around us and sustain and build everybody up, and not worry about ourselves. And that's the godly part of us. But then we have the other part, which is the animal soul, which is I need to receive for myself. It's all about me. And so, one of the main goals in Judaism is to have the godly soul overpower and transform the animal soul, so that my godly side is what is my focus. It's what guides me, and it has overpowered my animal soul so that my body goes along. The laziness and the corruption and the lies and the ego, ideally that all becomes sublimated to the godly soul. And so the godly soul is able to truly use the body as a vehicle to seat the holiness of the Creator. And so that's the idea, is that the godly soul should overpower the animal soul, so that we live in a way that's similar and as close to Hashem as we can. We want to be like Hashem in all ways, and that results in us being close to Hashem. Fine. But so that's the battle. And so obviously there's a great internal struggle, because our animal soul wants to exist in one way of being, which is to receive. And our godly soul doesn't want to receive. It doesn't need to receive. It wants to be in a state of giving. And so to overpower our animal soul, to transform and elevate our animal side so that it is not in a state of all about me. What can I get? I need to receive. I'm the creation. I need the Creator to sustain me. Rather, we move into, no, I'm a piece of the Creator, and so I'm going to make it not about me, and I'm going to make it about others. And so once that happens, the big change is that where one gets their pleasure and happiness shifts. Where if the godly soul overpowers the animal soul, so then one's pleasure and happiness comes from giving others, not from receiving for themselves. Let's say God is happy when another person gets everything they want, and God could care less if he gets, because God already has everything. Versus getting pleasure, when I receive something for myself, is one level. But to elevate that, it would be really, I get pleasure when other people receive. And that's sort of living in the godly place. And that transformation to truly live in that space of my pleasure, my happiness comes from serving others, is a high level, and it requires a total transformation of the animal self, which obviously that help only comes from above as well. Fine. But that being said, so what the Tanya talks about here is a person who's on that journey of trying to transform their animal soul, and you have their godly soul overpower it, and really that be what guides their mind and their heart. and the body and the animal soul is subservient to that. And so he says, very interesting, is that in this pursuit, there are two types of people. There's one type of person who he says, and now by the way, he also claims here is he says that within every Jew is a hidden love to be close to God, and so fine. So there's two types of people. Both have this hidden love. Every Jew has this hidden love, and that's why you see Jews being able to do make unbelievable sacrifices, sometimes out of nowhere, in order to maintain a connection with Hashem or to reestablish it. So the first type of person he talks about, he says, it says the hidden love of God is now sufficient, unless he wishes to study more than he usually does so. But this is a person who's by nature an assiduous student due to his solid temperament. Basically meaning that naturally this person is able to do mitzvahs, he's able to learn, he's able to really do all of his avodas Hashem and do everything he needs to do to kind of be in the game and have his relationship with Hashem, but he does it easily because naturally who he is already goes along with that type of work, and so he doesn't need to really work that hard do too much to grow because again his way of living, his temperament, his attitude, his personality happens to be it jives well with learning and with mitzvahs and with all of that, and so that's the first type of person. The other type of person, it's not the case. Everything about him is the opposite of doing mitzvahs, of learning. It doesn't come natural for him, and so when that happens, the hidden love within that person is not enough to get him to do mitzvahs and get him to learn Torah and to get him to really be in the game and to enjoy it and to like strive and to really be able to build a relationship with Hashem doing these things, because his goof, his body, his animal soul, it does not. It's completely against all of the things that he would need to do to connect with Hashem through Judaism, and so for this person, they have a much greater challenge, and that challenge is for them to do mitzvahs and to be able to learn Torah and to be able to really enjoy it and to really connect with it. So they need to take the hidden love, which is a love, it's an intellectual love that exists in the back of our mind. And for the first person, that's enough. But for this person who doesn't connect through the learning and through the mitzvahs, he needs to do an additional work, which is move that love from his mind and into his heart, so that he's essentially becomes on fire with love for Hashem, and that is the only way that he'll be able to truly do mitzvahs and to learn and connect. And on one hand, that looks a little bit like, well, this second guy has a harder time. The first guy, he can learn, he can do mitzvahs, he's disciplined, he can do the deal, he can be engaged, he can do it, and he doesn't have to. It's not such a challenge for him. There's not so much opposition within himself. And the second guy, it's almost impossible for him to do it. It's full of opposition. Everything in his physical self pulls him away from these activities, that these like Kodesh activities that would bring him closer to Hashem. And so he has to now create a much stronger reason to be involved in it, which means he has to reveal that love that he has hidden within him to such a level that he runs now to do mitzvahs and to learn, because he really is connecting to it with all his heart, and so that person is, on one hand, like I say, may seem more difficult because you have to work a lot harder. There's a lot more opposition to overcome your physical self to be able to connect and to do the work in avodas Hashem, serving Hashem. But the thing is, and what the Tanya explains is that this person, he does have a tougher time in that way, but he's been given a gift. He's been given a gift because he has to elevate his connection with Hashem. He has to develop that love on such a greater level than the other person. And ultimately, that will bring him to such a higher place. It's because he can't get it. And he's being forced to I'm not able to do mitzvahs and to learn Torah with all my heart and really connect to it. And so now he has to re-examine and focus, how can I develop a real love for Hashem so that I'm able to connect to these mitzvahs. And so through that work that he's forced to do, because naturally he can't connect, his level of love, it becomes to such a higher level than the first guy. And just to kind of finalize that, I want to read one thing here. It's from a book called Shemati, which means I heard, from the Bala Sulam. And it says like this, and this is the last thing. And he who always feels that the shattered is greater than the whole, meaning that there are many more descents than ascents, and he does not see an end to these states, and he will forever remain outside of holiness, for he sees that it is difficult for him to observe even as little as a jot, unless by overcoming above reason. But he is not always able to overcome. And what shall be the end? Then he comes to the decision that no one can help him but the Creator himself, but Hashem. This causes him to make a heartfelt demand that Hashem will open his eyes and heart and truly bring him nearer to eternal adhesion, oneness, connection with Hashem. It thus follows that all of the rejections he had experienced had come from Hashem, directly from the Creator. This means that he was not because he was at fault, that he did not have the ability to overcome. Rather, for those people who truly want to draw near to the Creator, and so they will not settle for little, meaning remain as senseless children, he is therefore given help from above. So he will not be able to say, thank God I have Torah and mitzvahs and good deeds, and what else do I need? And so what this is explaining is that for a person who their neshama, their soul, has such a strong and powerful desire to connect and be close with Hashem, so that person is going to face obstacles in being able to do Torah, to learn Torah and do mitzvahs, because Hashem is saying, I don't want you to settle for just being able to say, I have Torah, I have mitzvahs, I have my chesed that I do. That's good enough. No, Hashem is saying, I'm bringing you all this trouble, all of these obstacles for you to have to overcome, because I want you to have a closeness with me that's far, far above. And the only way you can do that is by not having it the easy way. And so it comes out that for those of us, and I relate to this, having this trouble really getting engaged in mitzvahs and learning Torah and being to do it, connecting with Hashem, is for those of us that really want a stronger connection with Hashem and have a hard time. So we have to realize that's the gift that Hashem gave us. He's saying, I'm not going to let you settle. I'm going to force you to develop this love and this connection with me on such a more revealed way, so that now when you do Torah and mitzvahs, it's going to be really, really something unbelievable. And so that's an idea that I wanted to share with you guys. I think it's such an amazing idea, such a powerful perspective. So hopefully you enjoyed.